Imagine arriving in Brazil, fully prepared for a business meeting. You have the data, the contract, and a clear agenda. The meeting starts by getting straight to business, only to notice the room feels tense and unresponsive. The meeting ends politely, but nothing moves forward. What went wrong? Was it the strategy? No, it was the communication. My name is Isabella Guedes, and I have an academic and professional background in business analytics, international business, and marketing, with direct experience working across the Brazilian and the American business environments. That exposure has shown me how cultural communication differences can directly affect negotiations, timelines, and outcomes. Brazil is the biggest country and largest economy in Latin America and is a key global market. But success there depends heavily on understanding how cultural differences in communications play a role. In Brazil, business is not transactional, it's relational. Today, I will explain four cultural factors that executives must understand to effectively communicate in Brazil: social customs, value systems, economic institutions, and political patterns. So let's begin by addressing social customs first. According to an article from academia, the business communication of Brazilians is high context. This means that considerable portion of the message is conveyed through the tone, body language, and personal relationships rather than direct words like in the United States. Brazilians tend to read between the lines, and messages may be implied rather than explicitly. Business meetings usually start with informal conversations. Topics such as family, travel, or soccer are common and expected. This is not a waste of time, this is how trust is built. Jumping directly into numbers in contracts may be perceived as cold or overly aggressive. Another important aspect is conversation flow. Unicaserve CEO Ivandro Carvalho stated that in Brazil, interruptions during a conversation are common and denoted as engagement rather than disrespect. Additionally, personal relationships known in Brazil as confiança are essential. People prefer to do business with those they know and trust, while punctuality is appreciated. Meetings may start late and schedules are often flexible. The key takeaway here is that relationship building comes before business outcomes. Rushing the process can damage credibility for you and your company. In Brazil, the second cultural factor that is important is their value system. Brazilian culture is largely collectivist. Group harmony, loyalty, and personal connections are prioritized over strict rules and individual achievements. In business settings, maintaining a positive relationship is often more important than in winning an argument. Hierarchy also plays a significant role. According to White Brazil, a respectful website, the respect for authority is essential. And ultimate authority is exercised by top management rather than reached by consensus. While discussions may involve people, final decisions are usually made by senior leaders. Subordinates may hesitate to openly disagree with management, especially in public. Because of this, executives should not assume that silence means agreement. Direct confrontation is generally avoided. Criticism is usually delivered indirectly or in private to preserve respect and harmony. Brazilians value flexibility and adaptability. Being overly rigid or procedural can be seen as impractical in a fast changing environment. According to a report from the European Union, the Brazilian economy is based on a mixed economy model with a strong government intervention in strategy sectors. Many industries, such as energy, infrastructure, and finance, are closely regulated. So, one defining feature of Brazil's business environment is bureaucracy. Processes often require extensive documentation, multiple approvals, and compliance with complex regulations. This can slow timelines, increase costs for foreign companies unfamiliar with local systems. Large companies dominate many sectors, but family owned businesses are also common, specifically outside the major urban centers. Sao Paulo functions as the country's financial and commercial hub, hosting headquarters from major companies and financial institutions. Because of this complexity, local patterns, consultants, and legal advisors are extremely valuable. Navigating Brazil's economy environment without local expertise can lead to costly delays and misunderstandings. The Brazilian government website states that the country operates under a federal presidential form of governance with powers to regulate the split between federal, state, and municipality administrations. As a result of this, laws, taxes, and business requirements can vary significantly by region, like in the United States. Political and economic instability historically affected Brazil, and policy changes can influence business conditions, investment decisions, and timelines. Companies must be prepared to deal with regulatory shifts and should closely monitor the political developments of the country. Ethical compliance and transparency are especially important because Brazil has strengthened enforcement of corporate regulations in recent years. Violations can lead to serious legal and reputational consequences for the company. In conclusion, doing business in Brazil requires a lot more than technical knowledge or financial strength. It requires intelligence of culture. If you need to know about understanding their social customs, value systems, economic institutions, and political patterns, to make executives understand how to communicate effectively, build trust, and avoid costly misunderstandings. Those who invest in relationships in Brazil and respect hierarchy, remain flexible, and adapt to their communication style are far more likely to succeed. Please feel free to connect because Brazil offers numerous opportunities and I can help you with that. My email is here.